Hello to all of you. This felt like sharing about, well, the fear program narrative that is going around that just happened, the 4th of October. I'm very curious what happened. And, I've shared a post on my Facebook about that, my take on that. And this game is all about consent. We have to give our consent. Um, Otherwise, you know, they are not allowed in our space. And yeah, so if you don't own a portal phone, you automatically, you know, don't consent to it, to the AI frequencies, war zone shit. So, the best thing you can do is to get yourself an old telephone, an old retro telephone. I have one for 10 years now, just, with SMS and calling. So I can call someone if it's needed or send a text and they can connect to me. And with a Leica card, so no contract otherwise, and it works fine for me. I do use the spider web, the internet, but on my laptop, only on my laptop, and with a cable. So there's no interference, whatever. But I decided to use a old phone, keep using the old phone, because I had a portal phone, the new ones. About 10 years ago, I renewed my contract and I decided to get a new phone. And the moment I activated the phone and started using the phone, I could feel the pain in my arm and the pain in my heart. So I was like, oh, well, I don't know what it is, but it's not something for me. So I decided to not use the new portal phones. And I do have one of the first versions. Um, I can use it as a camera. If I want to make some pictures, I use it. But that's all, you know. It's in my home without the battery. And if I want to make some pictures outside in the woods or at the ocean, I just put in the battery and I make some pictures or make a video. So, do that. So you don't have to worry about that. But otherwise, I believe if you have a portal phone and you do not give consensus, it can go through your field, I guess. If you're out of balance and you're not in 0 point, it can go through your field, but it doesn't hang on to your field. It doesn't enter your field because you haven't given consensus. Because that's what I experience. I'm in my solid trust within my 0 point, but on the road towards that, I stumbled upon so much lack of self-love within myself. I had periods in which I experienced 0 point and trust, but I also had periods in which I was still very much longing and identifying ID entities, identifying An identity is an ID entity. So as soon as you identify something within this game, what do? Entities are active. As soon as you detach from all ID entities, you know, and there's no fear and there's no lack, you're just in trust within your 0 point. It's so calm and peaceful. And of course, things can go through your field, passing through your field, but they don't attach to it. You know? Even if there's still fear, or lack, I've experienced in those moments when I was still hanging on to identity, stories, narratives. There was still lack inside of me. I could feel frequencies going through my field when I was observing, but it didn't attach. So, but as soon as I started to ID, entity, identify from fear, it would attach to my field and it would just, I would feel it through my whole avatar, through every cell. But even then, when you become aware of that, you can detach from it immediately. So don't fear anything. Don't fear anything. No matter where you are in your path towards 100% self-love. Yeah. So I felt like sharing that. Yeah. And also, I wrote about the Orion frequency codes and what I observed. If you haven't read it, I will place a link below so you can read it yourself. It's like 2 minutes reading, and so you know what I'm talking about, because I don't want to repeat myself here. Just read it, just press pause and then come back later. um, because I talked about the Orion frequency codes, and after I had written it down, I had a talk with a dear friend of mine the day after, and about the process of detaching and how the mind works. And I started realizing that when I entered the city that is nearby here, and I saw the Orion project and the tower they were working on, in that moment, my mind went back to the experience I had a year before when well, not intentionally, but just, I walked into a field like a testing ground of that Orion tower on the Afsluitdijk, the dike that connects the two northern parts of the Netherlands. And I experienced that, the feeling of, we couldn't hardly breathe, my dogs and I, and it was like solid iron was placed upon my heart space and in my lungs. But as soon as I left that field, that testing ground, I stepped out of it, because I didn't give my consensus to it. So I experienced it because I walked into that field for a moment, but as soon as we walked out of that testing ground field, I detached from it immediately because I didn't give my consensus. I just observed it, and so. But when I drove into the nearby town here and I saw, you know, the word Orion and the tower, my mind immediately went to the experience I had a year back, on the Afsluitdijk. And bloop, the feeling was there. The same feeling was there. Now, was that feeling there because it was truly there in that moment? Or was I manifesting it myself because I was identifying through my mind to the experience I had a year back? I believe it's the last situation. It was just my mind fucking and identifying to a story that is in the past. It doesn't exist anymore. So the mind fuck. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, just felt like sharing that. Just a short message. And yeah, and I hope you enjoyed my mantras. Felt like sharing that in a fun and playful moment. It just unfolds. And felt like being creative and having some fun with words. Yeah. Hope it empowers you. Yeah, words within the game, you know, entities, ID entities, identify, yeah, and also the words I stumbled upon this past week. It's loneliness, loneliness. If you look into the word, you can see oneness. Just leave out three letters and you read oneness. It's all hidden in plain sight. You have to reverse everything, and because once you are home in your self-love, there is only oneness within yourself. There's no lack left. So loneliness disappears. Loneliness transforms into the true meaning of it. Oneness. Yeah, it felt like sharing it. Yeah, so don't have fear. Don't have fear. And detach yourself and from identity and stories, all the narratives from the past and the future. Just be here right now and let it all unfold because everything is right here, right now, within your beautiful source of knowing. Be the peaceful observer, and in the meantime, have some fun. Keep your heart light, have fun, and well, much love from me to you. Bye for now.